Hello, everyone. You guys wake up. Today is the 16th day that you have been here. It is your second Salavia. You just finished your orientation classes. You're about to start your actual classes. You had a bit of an encounter last night, but today, at the very least, is a holiday. I want to start this morning with asking what you think Felyn would like to be doing, since you have a lot more extra hours awake as you wait for the other three to wake up.
This is true. I think Felyn is mainly just kind of gathering some of her things, like she's getting her vestments and stuff. She's grabbing Uli.
Mm-hmm.
And is just generally prepping.
Generally putting things together, I see. Are you going to be taking like all your things with you, or are you going to be just taking like a bag? Like, what do you think you're doing?
I think we're gonna have to use my basket again.
Yeah, fair enough. I forgot
Yeah.
you don't have a bag. I forget every time.
I'll... I think I'll bring, like, my vestments, and then I'll bring some of the stuff that I've gotten while at Strix. Just to share with the fam.
Yeah, okay. Nice. With that, we will move over to Dove, because I think the next person to wake up would be Dove. You're very accustomed to naturally waking up very early. And so I think that by the time you wake up, Dove, you probably have like maybe like an hour to interact with Felyn or do things before the Kenriths wake up. Because they're also, they used to be early risers. And school has kind of pampered them out of it, you know?
Yeah. I think Dove would wake up out of the blanket and pillow nest that they crafted the previous evening.
Yes.
And because Dove was just kind of here in their clothes and everything, I think they're gonna make their way back to their actual dorm room and get, I think, just their casual clothing for now and change into that. Put away their older clothing from last night. And I think just kind of freshen up in the bathroom, just kind of takes their time washing their face, brushing out their hair after last night. I don't think they're trying to rush themselves necessarily. It's kind of just taking time for themselves.
100%. So I do have a question, because you guys did sleep in clothes that weren't yours. What's that situation?
I think Felyn's just gonna get into the casual clothes that she was in before that. Because she's gonna be switching her outfit as soon as she gets home anyway.
Yeah, I think Dove would change there still and just change into their clothes from the previous night before they leave. And I think... Oh, Rowan said that they could have it, huh? The dress that they wore?
The chemise? If you want to, you can take it. She said that she doesn't use it that often. But that is up to you if you do, like, take it or if you leave it. Which is why I was asking.
Gotcha. I think Dove would, because she said it was okay, I think Dove would fold it up and take it with them, but they're leaving in their, like, red velvet suit from the previous night.
Excuse me.
Alright, good to know. Then, as you guys sort of get ready, by the time you guys sort of, like, come back and, like, group up, you see that, the Kenriths are also now up and getting ready, because I know that both of you guys have pretty extensive morning routines. So I feel like by the time you are back, they are both getting ready. Will is more ready than Rowan. And you come in kind of on a conversation of, like, how do I word this? Rowan is trying to like ask Will as like the person who was like the original like invitee, you know what I mean? Like what like the vibe is or like how she should be dressed. And that sort of thing. And so that's what you come back in on.
So they're in the middle of that conversation when we come up. Okay.
Because I assume you guys could just come back to the room because like you guys were staying and meeting up there.
Yes. I think Felyn will speak up at this topic of conversation. And she was like, "Oh, actually, if it is all right with all of you, I had spoken with Will about this a bit. I would love to be able to give Will a little makeover, so to speak, or rather, my great-granddaughter would probably like to. I think you all would look lovely in some dynasty fashions."
Really? That sounds lovely.
I feel like Rowan looks the most surprised out of the three because again, Will's already heard about it, and she kind of looks over at Will and looks over at you, and looks over at Will, and says, "So you had it all figured out? You didn't think to tell me about it?" And Will was like, "Well, I didn't know it was everyone." And they have like a little playful squabble, you know what I mean? And I think after that, you see that Rowan was kind of rustling through some fabric in her footlocker. You assume that must be other clothes that she has. But she decides to kind of pull out the same sort of like casual tunic that she wears that matches Will's. But since that's the vibe we're going, I spent 30 minutes picking out an outfit for Rowan. Do you guys want to still see it anyway? Because you guys are going to see it now.
Yes. Give
If I can find the multimedia channel, we have so many channels.
many channels. Ooh!
Because you said it was a holy day, so
Yeah.
she was going to, if you hadn't immediately said that, she was going to like grill you on like, okay, well, is there a lot of walking? Is it like, do I have to be modest? Like, I don't know what your holy days do, but they could be like, you know what I mean? Like, because like there's a lot of vibes for like a holiday or a festival, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of fancy fashion that's from back where she's from.
I enjoyed this.
Yes. It doesn't have all the accoutrements, but like it would have included like, you know, those like chain belts that have like all the things hanging off of it, and like if she had to be modest, maybe like a veil, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Yeah, but do you guys want to do anything else while the Kenriths are getting ready?
I think Felyn is good. I think Felyn is trying to keep like mental time in her head of like what time it would be when they get there, because I think she's trying to calculate it to where they can get there right as the sun is rising.
Ooh, okay.
If
Ooh.
possible.
I'm thinking about how that would work, because the times don't technically sync up between planes. So, sorry, let me do some finagling really quick. That's also really interesting and fun to try to do, considering it's always bright over here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so since you guys did a lot of stuff actually in the nighttime, you guys technically are waking up a little bit later, finger quotes, than you would during the school week, just for the people who have to sleep 8 hours. I think you would have had to wake them up to meet dawn, because that would have probably hit around 6 a.m.
Okay.
And you guys were out when it was dark last night, which starts at 10 p.m. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Mm-hmm. So you can either let everybody get ready like normally, or we can say that you woke people up a little bit early to try to get there in time for dawn, but I think that it would be more realistic for you to show up and the sun is already out, if that makes sense.
I think Felyn would feel rude interrupting their sleep.
That is so fair, bestie. That's so fair. Nobody likes being the person to have to wake people up.
Yeah.
Not Dove, though. Dove will do it.
Dove will do it. I know Dove will do it. All right. Dove, was there anything else you wanted to do before we went?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay. As far as Will and Rowan's preparations, they're not really bringing anything. You can again tell that they have sort of like coin purses on their belt. They are still taking their swords. But again, you kind of both come from worlds where like walking around with weapons, especially open weapons, isn't that weird. They only did the armor thing because they know that they can cut a very imposing figure in like full plate armor. You know what I mean? So they have their swords on their belt, and they have their little coin purses, and they're ready to go. So if there's nothing else you guys want to do, we can shimmy over to student resources to talk to Mr. Riga.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
Y'all shimmy over. The sun is up. People are out hanging out, doing things on the lawn. Some clubs are meeting, but if anything is happening, it wasn't anything that was like required of you guys. It's just sometimes people and certain extracurriculars will like meet up on weekends to continue to practice. So you see certain people continuing to do their things like that. A lot of running around, a lot of staying in places. Student resources is pretty empty on a day like this because people aren't doing anything official. And you walk up to Dariga's little counter, and she gives you guys a smile and says, "What can I do you for?"
Hello. I would like to plane shift with my friends here back to my home.
All right. And you see she goes to count you guys as like a head count and counts you guys as 3, which is really funny. She like points to like Felyn and Dove as like 1, 2, and then nods over to the Kenrith and says 3. We can do 3. The Kenriths don't seem fazed by this at all, as Dariga goes to shuffle through her papers and find where your plane shift scrolls are at, and goes to hand out all 3 of them, and says, "Do you need any money exchanged?"
Is it?
It's analogous. She just asks for posterity's sake.
Okay.
You can use your gold coins everywhere.
Okay.
Motif is the only one who actually has to do that. It's just that she would ask. It's like one of those things, you know what I mean? Being immersive. But you guys politely decline, and she hands them out, and she says, "This one should remember," and she gives like a smile and a nod over to Felyn, and also to the Kenriths, but then turns to you, Dove, and says, "As for you, since you haven't done any plane shifts yet, I will reiterate the same rule that I give everyone. You are not allowed to bring back any people who are not already registered into the system of Strixhaven, and I don't suggest trying it."
I do remember hearing about this from my friends, yes.
Yes, it is a very important rule. As long as that's in order, you guys can come back whenever. You have the return copy already folded in with the scroll. There is no time limit. There's no time when you need to come back. If you miss your classes, that's on you. But you can stay as long as you like.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Burp, 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 burp.
And you guys stomp out of student resources. Where would you like to go to use your plane shifts? Because you can use them anywhere. You could have used them back in the building too. But do you like want to do anything? Do you want to go somewhere specifically to do it? Again, last check. Anybody want to do anything else before we go? Hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times.
think I am good.
Delightful.
I am also good. I actually, just to make sure everyone knows, I am going to bring the viol with me in a case,
Nice.
just in case, because if anything fucking happens, I need to be able to cast spells. I'm not gonna make the mistake again.
That's very important. This actually brings it up because I asked this to Felyn. I do need to know, what in your inventory are you taking? Are you taking your whole inventory?
I will go ahead. I made a little list that I will.
Thank you. That helps me so much, actually. Just because, like, when you're walking around school, it doesn't matter as much unless it's, like, in a fight or whatever, because you can go back and get it. But, like, I feel I want to, like, know since you are going out into, like, an excursion, essentially. You know what I mean? You can take everything. I just think that that's a pointed character choice if you brought everything, you know?
Yeah. Shit. Jazz hands.
Very good. I enjoy that immensely.
Yes.
I think I looked through my inventory really quick. I think I am just going to be bringing like my coin purse and I think just my viol, and I think that's it because everything else can kind of just stay here.
Yeah, that's also understandable. Like, I feel like going out and having fun, really all you need is like some protection if you're paranoid and money. So I think that's a really good spread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys go. And I'm gonna say just here out in the commons, you're gonna use your little plane shift. And Felyn, you go to read it off, holding hands with everybody in the circle. As you read off the plane shift scroll. And as you read your going one, you see the edges sort of burn up as it turns into dust, and you are shattered into little pinpricks of light, and you are brought back looking into the entryway of the gate of the outside perimeter of the compound for Den Salrai.
Yeah.
It is about 7 in the morning, I want to say. I want to say you're only about an hour late, finger quotes, after the spell has been cast. And there is a delicate morning light that, compared to Strixhaven, where you're surrounded and suffused by light, but it's powerful, it's strong from the closeness of both suns, this is sort of a delicate light that reminds you of that sort of reverential feeling that you get on Days of Light when you get to experience a sun like this. This is the gentle light that you are familiar with as a follower of the Luxon.
Yeah. Felyn is still gonna like squint her eyes a little bit and kind of
Yeah.
blink them so that she can adjust a little bit. Can I send the picture what the grounds look like?
You should. You should send it in and talk about it if you want. You're the one who made it.
Yes. Technically speaking, I stole it from somebody else, but
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's a whole compound.
It's all compound. Yeah, there's a little. Okay, because we're at the little sort of archway thing there at the bottom.
Yes.
And there is a little pond right outside of it with a little bridge going over. And something to note, because this is Jorhas, baby. We have vermalock trees, so they look more purple than what is in the picture.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Neat. This is also, the buildings are a bit more spread out.
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise, the layout is just the same as in the picture.
It's very beautiful, and as you guys go to walk over the bridge, you see a couple of myriad water creatures skitter and move around as you walk over. And you see this beautiful sort of... There's cobblestone on the grounds, but there's also greenery blooming forth among them. And it's a very beautiful slice of serenity in the middle of a booming district. And it's really interesting because I feel like even though it has sort of this quietness to it, on a day like this, the quiet almost feels like it's like the thrumming of excitement instead of the winding down after a long day. Yeah, so you are home. What are you doing?
Felyn's gonna look back to her friends and kind of spread her arms out and say, "Welcome!"
I think that will look around and say with an honest edge of like awe in his voice that you have a lovely home.
It's
Thank you,
absolutely beautiful here, Felyn.
Thank you so much. Each of the buildings here belongs to a different members of the den. This big building right here, though, is where all of these sort of common rooms are. My bedroom is also in that one. But yes, oh, come. And she's gonna start leading them into the main building.
Yeah.
You said... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
You said that you had changelings in your den, right?
Yes, their house is right over on that one. It's on the right side from the main building. They have a little one, and one of the parents is expecting currently.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Realistically, I think Felyn would be rambling more about her den members. I cannot think of the way she would ramble about it, but I can just tell you if you want.
Oh, go ahead. By
We
all
have a
means.
lot of really fun lore about the den. Go off. I love it.
So starting with the changing. Oh, let me actually hang on. Because I have a second picture for this as like a guide for where
Yes.
everybody is.
I love your den house.
I love a den house. Okay, hang on. I have to find it again because I was dumpy and didn't grab it when I grabbed the other one.
When you watch the recording of this and the Rosona backdrop is the night one, mind your business, by the way.
just pretend the sun is there. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So to the building to the right, she's going to talk about Rast, Min, and Tem. Rast is very loud and boisterous. They use he, they. And he works as a sort of catch-all repairman with a hobby in woodworking. They have a sibling, Vuk, who is in the little house at the bottom right. And Vuk is an artist. Particularly, they like making sculptures. And then Rast's spouse, Min, is a tutor. They tutor for very young kids, and they try to mold the curriculum around the kids' specific interests because they do it kind of on an individual basis. Because of that, they have a lot of fun little trivia.
That's also
and
the
then
pregnant one.
Yes. And then they have their daughter, 10. She's 5 years old, and she is very active. She's very full of energy. She also has been very into music lately. She has their parent Rast making little wooden instruments for them. Then
before we move on from the changelings, I want to tell you, Mackenzie, and Dove, this really fun fact about Vuk that I think Felyn would tell Dove. So Vuk is a sculptor, and what they will do whenever they do showings is that they will shift to look like their artwork, the person that they made in their artwork.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, you can keep
Yeah.
talking. I just like the changelings that we made. They're really fun.
Yeah. Whenever you want to chip in with facts and stuff, please feel free to, because I'm a bit scatterbrained.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then in the bottom left is Zane.
Yeah.
Yes, Zane and Bova, who are Minotaurs. Felyn would let you know that Bova is not here right now. They are stationed in Bazazan right now. But Bova is a soldier and was one of Felyn's besties. And then Zane is Bova's partner, who is more chill than Bova. Bova is very energetic, and Zane is very sort of more chill, very down for domestic home life. They do cooking and a few craft hobbies. And then the building at the top left is where her grandson and great-granddaughters stay. Merritt is the grandson, and then his 2 daughters are in their teen years. Merritt works at Feyera's.
Yes.
Feyera's plants. And then his 2 daughters are Genesis, aka Jenny, and then Chandra. Jenny is the one that is very into fashion and will likely be giving a makeover. And then Chandra is very much on the academic side. And she wants to teach at the big sort of conservatory in the city. Yeah. Oh, and then there's Nim, who Felyn would just say is one of her dearest friends. He also lives in the main building. And he works, I believe, at the Marble Tomes, right?
He is an accountant, so he works with specific noble families.
There we go, yes. He's an accountant.
Not the sexy kind, unfortunately.
Not the sexy kind.
The very boring math kind.
Very boring math kind, but he likes having intellectual discussions. He's very smart.
That's the family.
So Zane and Bova, Minotaurs, and Bova is one of Felyn's besties, but she's not. She. They are not here because they're stationed elsewhere in military.
Yes.
Yeah, they joined the Aurora Watch.
I can make a little quick guide.
Are Felyn's actual kids dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
man.
actually thought about this. If Felyn had not been born an elf and had her anamnesis a lot sooner, she would have been able to see her son before he died, but she didn't get to.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she passed away, the first time, how old was her son?
I don't think we picked an exact age, but I think he was an adult because she died at 80.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's sad. And damn. And then Min is the pregnant changeling?
Yes.
What were their pronouns?
They use any pronouns.
Thank you for this. It's just a lot of people all at once. I'm like,
No, yeah.
yeah.
Most
Don't-
of them.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna just reassure you, Mackenzie, don't worry, you're not gonna meet all of them, so you don't have to, like, keep them straight. This is just, like, information that Felyn is sharing with you. You're only gonna meet, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah. Most of these people you could just throw from your mind. They are not showing up.
But they are important in our hearts.
Yes.
And also, they
Felyn
might show up
would-
eventually. They might show up one day.
Yeah, and Felyn will gush about them ceaselessly because she loves her family.
And then I know Felyn was born an elf, and then like I think Merritt raised her, but she's not like. I don't know how to describe it.
So something that kind of helps is that anamnesis happens when you're like in adolescence. So when you start becoming like a teenager, when you start maturing, like puberty basically. So I think we decided on the exact age Felyn was during when anamnesis started, but I've been eyeballing it around 50. But once you start anamnesising enough to like know where you're from, or at least know your den, you can go and get claimed by them. So basically she moved in at her old den. So she was like, I want to say probably like 55, 60 or so, and then like came to live here. And so Merritt helped her through the rest of her adolescence so that she could grow up to be an adult. And so now that you're like 120 something, Merritt probably was only like an older teen or 20 like when you came by, and so now he's like later middle-aged. Which means, adorably enough, you were around when Jenny and Chandra were born.
Yeah. My great granddaughter is.
Yeah, I know that we haven't technically done any information on like their mom, but honestly, I just think that maybe it was just like a one-off situation, and he was like, oh, I'll take them, I like kiddos.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be like a dead wife situation every time a parent isn't in the picture.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just gushing about the family stuff. It's fun to talk about, and it's fun that it seemed like you were really interested in it.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, Felyn is rambling about this as she's going into the big house.
Nice. So as you guys are sort of rambling, talking back and forth about it, it is, you would know that this is relatively early for some people, but again, it is a holiday, so you expect more people to be up and doing things, whether they're here or in their homes. It's not quite like normally where you are the first to wake up and you greet people as they get up, and you come in, and there actually is like a decent amount of your family home. So I'm going to roll really quick to see who is in this building.
And then make changelings.
Oh, can I also send in what the entrance looks like?
Yes. And I will send in pictures of the NPCs that you meet, Mackenzie, because we have pictures of all of them.
Yay.
Yes. All of the pictures of the paintings on the wall are of all the den mates, past and present. The
Aw.
big one has Felyn in her first life as Zavine with Nim and their son.
I love the way that you decorated this house. I look at it every time and I'm like, it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay, so, okay. So actually, one second. Actually, remind me what's on the second floor of this building again?
On the second floor is Felyn and Nim's room, and then the library.
Okay, cool, delicious. We're going. Let's go. So, I was setting the scene. In my head. So you walk in, and again, there's sort of like this thrumming of liveliness, even in these quiet moments. And you walk in, and you see, there's about 4 or 5 people in here. The first one that you notice, which is also the first one that notices you, is you see Tem go to like run by this like opening that you just came through. And so like obviously as they go to like run by and you're like opening the door and walking in, they stop, look at you, and they do that thing that kids do where they scream like they're being murdered. Very specifically, which catches everybody's attention, quite obviously, not only on top of the door opening. But you also see in this scene that Nim and Merritt are sitting on one of the little couches, drinking tea and kind of chatting. And they look over as well once Tem starts screaming. And then you also see Min is being walked down the stairs, extremely gregnant, watermelon gregnant. And Zane is helping her down the steps.
Oh.
Yes. And they all go to look at you, and you see that obviously Zane and Min perk up when they see you, kind of curiously looking at the people that are with you. Both Nim and Merritt have like this response of like half getting up to greet you. And Tem is like already running Mach speed at you. Like hugging you so fast they like headbutt you in the stomach a little bit.
I think.
Go ahead. I was going to say it's not something you're shocked by. Headbutts are extremely common in this household of minotaurs and tieflings. But go ahead.
Yeah. I think Felyn is immediately going to pick Tem up and give her a big squeeze and do a little spin.
I think that that sets Tem to squealing. And by that time, Merritt has sort of gotten up and come a bit closer. This sort of, I'll send in the pic crews in a second, I'm sorry, but I want to get the scene out really quick. Where he's like grinning ear to ear, and he's like, back so soon. Hope they didn't kick you out or nothing.
Felyn will laugh and say, I would never get kicked out. Come on now.
I don't know. You have a bit of a penchant for trouble sometimes.
Oh, hush. I came I came to have my friends visit and take part in the festival. And she's gonna set Tem down and sort of gesture to Devon the Kenriths.
Nice. Okay, let me give the pick crews really quick. And then I can continue on. We have Tem.
Yeah.
And then we have Min. We do not have a picker for Zane, unfortunately. Minotaur problems.
Yeah.
But I've been imagining, like, okay, oh, fuck, you guys don't know this. So in Amonkhet, right, Minotaurs have, like, ram heads, and I've been imagining Zane looks more sheep than bull.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be fun to shake it up, you know?
Shake it up, shake it up.
Here is Nim. And then here is Merritt. And I'm gonna just get a sheep head, a minotaur, just to show in here. Okay, I have a picture. we'll say this is what Zane looks like.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're gonna introduce everybody to everybody?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you say? Are you just introducing the family to them? How do you introduce these people? I'm also gonna mention, it's not to the point where you're concerned, but I will say that I easily think Will and Rowan are the first humans Tem has ever seen in their life, so they are staring at them. But I think that's cute.
I love that. I think Felyn will go ahead. She's gonna gesture to her family and look to Devon the Kenris, and just say, "This is Tensa, right? At least part of it." And she's gonna go through and point out names and whatnot. And then she will look to her dad and gesture to Devon the Kenris and say, "These are my friends. This is Dove." And we'll gesture to Dove.
And Dove smiles at everyone and goes to wave politely.
By the time I feel like you do that, Zane and Min are now down off the steps. And Zane is sort of still helping Min to like walk. She doesn't look like she's having too much difficulty, but like, you know, he is very pregnant. So, but by the time you give everyone a little polite introduction, Min gives you a smile and does an affectation of like a small curtsy. Just something really cute that's easier than bowing.
Yes. If Dove didn't want to say anything else?
I think Dove will say, Felyn has spoken very much about all of you. It's very lovely to meet her family for the first time.
That's so cute.
And I'm very excited to meet other changelings as well.
I think that really tickles Min, and Min lets out a bit of a laugh and says, "You'll have to pardon me if my shifting is a bit simpler now."
Oh no, I understand completely.
And you guys like have this moment of like understanding that like again, I don't think that changelings are like persecuted here necessarily, but I think that changelings as a people have a very strong community bond. So I feel like there's like a moment between like you and Minda where you guys are both just like changeling.
Yeah.
Nice.
Change.
I understand. You know what I mean? And I just think it's really nice.
Yeah.
And then Felyn will gesture to the siblings and say, "And this is Will and Rowan."
They both go to give a nod. And okay, I have a very clear idea of how they would introduce themselves, but I have to ask you a question, Sarah. So I know that we have modeled certain affectations and traits of Jorhas, and also Matt has technically off of like, you know, like a lot of Eastern aesthetics, Asian stuff, right? But like I want to ask you specifically because I know that Felyn bows and stuff. Do you think, not that they would be weirded out by a handshake, but do you think handshakes are just as common as a greeting?
I think it's more common to bow, but particularly with the cultural melting pot, I think it is not. Yeah, I think it's not uncommon for handshake.
That is understandable. I just wanted to ask because you are the resident expert on Jorhas. So I think that Will does this a bit quicker than Rowan does, but I think that Will actually goes 2 steps forward and would introduce himself, not formally, but he would introduce him by his full name. So he would say like, "Oh, I'm William Kenrith. It's nice to meet you. I'm a friend of Felyn's." And I think that he like intentionally wants to like shake the hand of like anybody who's around. So like I think he would shake Merritt's hand. Nim hasn't really walked all the way over to the group yet. He's like standing a bit back. It doesn't look like that's a standoffish thing that he's doing because you know he's more quiet to himself anyway. He's just not fully integrated just yet. So I think he would shake hands with Merritt. With like this sort of firm handshake, and Merritt is gonna do that thing, you know, where like you shake hands. It's like a very dad thing, but like when you shake hands, but then the other hand like reaches out to like touch you, you know, very friendly handshake. And he would also shake hands with like Zane, and then I think he would not kiss her hand necessarily, but like the affectation of like the taking Min's hand and like, you know, bowing his head to it, you know, that sort of thing. Fancy. And I think Rowan just kind of puts a hand on a waist and says, "Hey, what's up?" And I think she's very entertained that her brother's taking it so seriously. And I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
Sorry that it's just a lot of me talking to myself, besties. How are we feeling? Do you guys want to do anything?
Gentleman shaking hands with everyone, making a good first impression. Wow.
Wow, I know. Rowan looks at Dove like, I'm so gonna make fun of him for that later. Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Look at this fucking guy.
I think Dove kind of just like looks over to Rowan out of like the corner of their eye and just kind of like gives a side smile.
I think once introductions are done, Felyn will say, "Alright, I know it's only been about 2 weeks, but come on, give me my hugs." And she's going to walk around to everyone and give hugs.
They're gonna all give you hugs, you know it. Like instantly, they're like, okay, introductions are out of the way. Now we have to be embarrassing family, and we have to like hug you and pat you down and make sure that you're eating well and that sort of thing, right? Like, Merritt and Min are particularly fussy about you, but they have huge smiles on their face, and it's like, you know, it's like half ribbing, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. And I think that by this time, as you're sort of getting at your hugs and like asking how people are, I think Nim comes up to finally give you a smile and says that it's nice to see you, even if it's only been 2 weeks, and gives you a hug. And I think he gives you a very safe but small like kiss on the hair. I wanted to think of like a way that's like affectionate but not like too much, and I think that that's cute. I hope that Felyn would agree.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you get your little hugs, and they like usher you all to sit down. And as you guys come to sit on these little chairs, something really interesting happens where Dove, you notice that it's not necessarily like you're pushed to a certain chair, but it's like once everybody's sitting down, like Felyn is very clearly. This is like a coffee table with couches, but if this was a table with a head of the table, Felyn would be the head of the table. And I feel like people are sitting around Felyn and focused around Felyn. So I feel like you end up being like parallel to Felyn with like Will and Rowan, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as she's sitting down and getting settled back in with her den, it's not a drastic change, but her body language and kind of attitude starts changing a little bit. Because Felyn in general very optimistic, especially at Strix. I feel like she's a bit more energetic because, oh my god, new things. But now she's very sort of calm and is sitting with an air of like, yeah, I'm in charge of this.
Oh yeah. You're in your element, you know? I love that. I'm going to get up and go use the bathroom really quick. But if you guys want to formulate stuff you want to do, then honestly, this section right now is like a lot of back and forth, checking in on each other, asking a lot of like family small talk questions that I'm very bad at. But I'm going to go pause and use the bathroom real quick. we're back. And now that we're back, you are trying to find your sweet great-granddaughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that Merritt would probably say, with like a hint of fondness and like a bit of a laugh, and be like, oh, you know her, she's still getting ready. She's gonna be getting ready all the way up until midday, I think.
Oh, of course, of course.
And I think, as he says that, you get the idea that that must mean that she's probably in her room. I think because of the age of them and because the tieflings TM have their own little house, they probably have separate rooms. So you could probably go specifically to like their house and then to Jenny's room, which I think is cute.
Yeah. I think Felyn will do that.
Yeah. So, are you gonna bring all your besties, or are you gonna leave them to the mercy of your family's probing questions?
I think Felyn will ask if they'd like to join her in finding Jenny, but otherwise.
I think Dove would elect to stay with the fam and talk to them if that's okay.
I think that's adorable. We can definitely do that. I will think of sufficiently invasive questions for you. I do also think. I'm gonna flip a coin because I don't know what the Kenrith would do. I was trying to think about it and I was like, this is taking too long. I gotta be fast.
Bye.
Pick even or odds, you guys.
Even.
Okay, cool. Wow, amazing, Stellar. The rolls are in your favor. Your elected date is going where you guys are going. So Rowan is staying and Will is gonna extract himself from the changeling currently crawling on him. And will come with you, Felyn.
Hell yeah.
So we'll do your little segment first, and then I'll think of some really fun invasive questions to ask you, Dove, in a second. Okay, so you walk out into the courtyard. I'll say about now, it's probably like not too late, maybe getting closer to 8. As you guys have sort of talked a bit. And you go over to Merritt's little house. It is a house that you're familiar with every layout, right? But I feel like since your last life, and then also since you were brought back, you have always lived in like the bigger house. So it is not like as familiar to you as like your rooms would be, but it's still like comfortable enough for you to be able to like walk in and like go up and like knock. So you should tell me what your entrance is like, or if you're talking to Will, or what you doing.
I think Felyn will chat with Will a little bit, just kind of generally talking a bit more about Jenny and like what she's doing.
I think if you're chatting with Will, I do think there's something that he would like to say to you. I think that he would probably make a comment that he what's a good way to word this that sounds as fond as I mean it to be? I think that he would comment and sort of say that your family is very lively, with sort of a smile and like a bit of a laugh. And I don't know exactly how he would say it, so I'm just going to tell you the vibes, but I think he is like going to basically say to you that he liked seeing how different everybody was because it reminds him of his own family.
Aww.
Yeah, because he comes from a mixed race family.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cute moment you have.
Yeah. I think Felyn will give a smile at that and will sort of mention a bit about how the den came to be,
Mm-hmm.
and about how she was alone for a while from a young age, and then found a family and all of these people, and now the family lives on today.
I think that he's going to kind of give you a sort of like fond look and a sort of soft smile, and I think he's going to say, that that's beautiful, and I think I like that quite a bit better. Blood doesn't always have to mean everything, you know?
She will nod and say, "This is it is a sentiment that is common throughout the dynasty. It is nice. I wouldn't trade them for the world."
I think he's gonna kind of let that conversation drop off, but I think he looks sort of pensive, but happy.
Yeah.
As you go and find your little great-granddaughter.
Yeah. I think Felyn just kind of gives a light knock on the door to the building before just opening it and saying, "Jenny!"
You go to call in, and you feel like you can... Before you hear any sort of response, you hear sort of like stomping from upstairs, from the floor above. This is just a little 2-story house, but it's not stomping like angry stomping, but it's like the stomping of like when you are running around, right? A very common sound to be heard in this household. And you hear almost this sort of like muffled response of like this yelled, "Hey!"
And I was just like, "Oh boy." And then she's gonna start walking upstairs.
Thanks. I love role-playing teenagers. They're motherfuckers. So you go upstairs and you go up to this second floor plan, and I want to imagine that it's got just like a very simple hallway, 3 bedrooms. And you go up to the one that you know to be Jenny's. It has sort of this, I want to say, this draping of like this single piece of fabric on it. It kind of looks like a sash because it's diagonal from one corner to the other, and it's just something to be pretty. And you go up and knock again. And you hear that sort of quick steps coming over to the door and throwing it open. And you see a little purple tiefling. I will send in the pic crew. But something that's really fun about when you see her is that she's obviously like not half dressed, but definitely half ready. You know what I mean? She's like obviously got like pajama bottoms, but then like a really fancy top on because she was like looking at it in the mirror. Her hair's like half done. There's little Jenny.
Aww.
Yeah.
And you see she like goes to like start going off on you about that whole like, you know not to mess with me when I'm getting ready. You can't rush, da da da, you know, that sort of thing. Like, you know, like she has to hear a lot. But then she like looks at you and you feel like you see her face kind of go like slack for a second. And she closes the door on you really quickly and then opens it again. And she's like, "Oh my god, you're back?"
Felyn will give a small smile and nod and say, "Yes, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but I've invited my friends with me to the festival today." And she'll gesture to Will a little bit.
she is staring dead ass at Will. How do I word this? I don't want to say she's like squared up, but you know, like that pose that's like an aborted T pose where you kind of like are a little bit squared up, you're a little bit wider. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. You were gonna say something? I have something really funny that I'm gonna say, but you were gonna say something first.
My thing is gonna lead into a different thing altogether. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I don't think that it's the same as like Jenny's 17. I don't think she doesn't know what a human is. I just don't think she expects to see a human. So I think her first blurt of a question is like, "What's wrong with your ears?" Because her first assumption would be that this is a non-drow elf here, which is like a little bit weird, but a little bit more normal than a human showing up in her house. I think Will's literally only response is to balk at it and say they've always been like this. So you can have whatever reaction you want to this.
Felyn will just kind of look to Jenny with this look of like, it's like when a kid has just made a bit of a rude comment and the mom gives them like a look.
Yeah.
Felyn has that. And will say very calmly, Will here is a human.
I can't keep having people make really funny comments about Will being a human. I can't do that. My first instinct was to just have her say why.
Oh my god.
I can't fucking do this.
He's a human. Why? This is the equivalent. You can't just ask someone why.
You can't just ask somebody why they're a human.
Oh my god. You can't just ask someone why they're white.
Yeah, I mean, he is the only white boy here. Oh god. Okay. I don't think she's gonna say why. I think that she's gonna like feel the withering look that you're giving her, and she is going to say very politely, as if it's like overshooting. Like you can tell that she is putting an affectation to her voice, and she just says, "It's very nice to meet you, Will." And she looks over at you.
The look changes into just a nice smile.
Okay. Will goes to offer to shake her hand, and I think that she shakes it, but obviously, like, he has, like, a firm warrior's handshake, and she's, like, a little limp wrist, a little bit. I don't think she shakes a lot of people's hands. I don't think she's that kind of girl. But I do think, as she's sort of talking to you, and I think she goes to ask, like, she's gonna go like, "Oh, did you come back for the festival?" But she keeps like staring at Will, not in any particular way, but she's just like looking at him. You know what I mean? She's not really trying to hide it.
Yeah. Felyn will just nod and say, "Yes, I've brought Will, and then I've also brought two of my other friends, Rowan and Dove. And I was actually coming to you to ask if you would be willing to work your magic and give them a bit of a Rosona makeover."
Now you're just trying to butter me up.
You are the best stylist I know.
I suppose I can take extra time out of my own preparations. And Will is just like, Will doesn't see that this is just her being dramatic and is like, oh, I mean, if it's an issue. And she's like, no, I guess if you're twisting my arm about it, then I can dress up you and your friends. Anything for you, Ator.
Felyn will give a little bit of a laugh, put a hand on her chest and say, "Oh yes, thank you so much. I am ever gracious for offering your time."
To hit the amount of melodrama I put in that voice, I had to get up and start walking around. I don't know if you could hear it. I literally was like walking around, being really extra. And I think at this point she's going to kind of start walking around Will, reminiscent of a very small shark, kind of just looking him up and down. And I think that she's going to like ask where the other two are, and I think that she is going to like not forcibly keep Will there, but I think that her intent is to like try to get a vibe for his proportions and what he looks like, if you wanted to go fetch the other two. But then that means we get to come over to Will. We come over to Dove and Rowan, not Will. Sorry,
Yes.
We have a lot of people here.
Widow. Yes, Felyn will go ahead and fetch them.
Nice. Dove.
Yes.
Hello. I think that the minute you are left alone with Felyn's family, they pounce upon you with questions. Some a bit more on top of it than others. Thankfully, none of them are too aggressive because all of the people in this room are actually really chill. So it's a lot of conversational questions. And then the occasional one thrown out of left field by like Tem. And I think it's a lot of like asking like what you do. And I think, again, if you're very open about it, I think that Min and you kind of again connect on like the teaching thing.
No,
think
I
it's
was
really
commenting
cute.
about that to Sarah. I'm like, how
Yeah.
did you do the same thing of a changeling tutor that tutors small children? What the fuck?
They are the same, and I love the idea that like literally the minute you're like, oh, I do this, and Flynn told me you do this, Min would be like, oh my god, and then you guys like literally talk shop, and everybody is like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I do
Yeah,
think.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think Dove would be like very open and honest because like they have nothing to hide from these people and they seem like very like nice people and they're Felyn's family, so yeah. And I also think that Dove would be so overjoyed with Tim. Like I think Tim reminds them a lot of Fisk and it's I think it is very cute.
I think what's really cute about Tem also, I wanted to tell you something really funny that I think Tem would do. I think Tem does that thing that kids do where Tem, after like a bit of you guys talking amongst the adults, Tem is like, let me show you what I do, and then like shifts into something really weird that's like Jorhas specific. And it's like multiple times, and it's like, and I think it's again just because like, oh my god, look at this thing I can do. Look at this new person. Look at me.
Dove is so amazed every time. Dove's like, really? Is that something from here? That's so impressive. You've got it nailed down perfectly.
I just think it's really cute. And then Tem's like, and this is what I'd look like if I was a bugbear. And then they shift again. And I just think it's really fun. I just think it's a fun little time. I wanted to think of really fun, invasive questions that the family would ask you. Then I realized everybody was really chill, and I was like, wait a minute. So if you want to ask anything of the family, or if you want to talk to Rowan, then that would also be really fun. But I think that they are just generally really pleasant to be around. As far as like what they would ask you, again, like Min and you kind of bond over being changelings. You're having a fun time with Tem. I feel like Merritt is asking a lot about, in a cute way, is asking like, oh, is Felyn settling well? And then like,
No, I will mention one thing. Dove is being very open and honest, except for all of the bad parts about school. Dove is like,
100%.
no, Felyn is feeling great. It's really nice there. It's great. Nothing bad ever happens at Strixhaven. There is no war in Bossing Say.
There's no war in Bossing Say. We are not planeswalkers, actually. I know we told you we were planeswalkers, but actually that's not real. I don't know what that is.
Well, no, like if Felyn has already told them something, Dove's not like going back about that part, but like all of the shit that we have went through does not exist in this moment. Dove is carefully omitting it.
I just meant all of the unspoken stuff, because the only information any of you knew about planeswalkers was that they were called planeswalkers.
Yeah, and Dove, in Dove's mind, Dove is like, I would do this with my family, and I don't want them to worry about Felyn. So if Felyn wants to tell them, she can do it, but I'm not gonna be the bitch that does that.
100% not. 100% not. Delightful. I'm so glad. Anyways, sorry, I wanted to go a bit more about like what you guys were talking about. But if you have
Yeah.
anything you want to say or ask, feel free.
I think Dove would be curious about like, are they going to be helping out with like the festival? Are they doing anything specific for it?
Ooh, okay, yeah. So, no one else they would tell you that no one else in Den Salrai is like clergy. So Felyn has to do a lot. Wait, something that you would notice actually. It's actually incredibly common for people in this room actually to call Felyn Zavine. I've been slipping up because I don't call her Zavine. A lot of people here are referring to Felyn exclusively as Zavine, especially like Nim and Merritt will like switch it up, and like some of the, like Tem will always say Felyn, but like that's something that's happening also. You would notice that. But they would basically say that like, oh, nobody else is here as clergy, so Felyn has a lot to do. If she's helping out with like her temple and stuff like that. But for everyone else, it's kind of like, I'm just going to use this to talk vaguely. It's kind of like Mass, where everybody kind of like shows up for like an event, and then otherwise you just like enjoy the festivities, and it's also like a day off. So people practice it a lot differently. So like, it's like the essential of like, go to church, pray, hang out with your family. It's like a sabbatical situation, like a Shabbat. There's probably a bit more ritual minutiae to it, but I haven't decided those things just yet. So like, if you were ever interested in that sort of thing, they would tell you like if they do like candle lightings and stuff, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's mostly an introspection thing. So like, they're gonna go to mass, they're gonna hang out, they're gonna think about the light and just be happy in it. Are the vibes. But nobody else is like helping with anything.
Yeah. I like them. I like them.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Oh, hold on. Do I want to say that? Oh, I think Merritt would say something really funny about how he would be talking about like, oh, like Fire keeps really wanting to have like a stall during the festival, and she keeps being like, oh, we can do the work together, and then Merritt is like, but I'm busy, you know, that sort of thing, like just like complaining about it a little bit, which I think is cute. Yeah.
Oh, I love all my friends.
I like them too.
Okay. I don't have anything else off the top of my head, I don't think.
I think that's so fair. I will say something that I think is kind of interesting, is that I think that Rowan is kind of like taking a backseat in this conversation. People are still talking to her, obviously. But I think as far as like how easily you've slotted yourself into this conversation, I feel it's almost like Rowan is, what's your passive insight actually?
Let me take a look.
Spicy.
Passive insight is 15.
15.
Spicy.
You can roll if you want to test your
Oh
luck.
yeah.
First roll of the game.
Woo!
Only an hour in. 13? Okay, cool. That's still pretty good. So, you get the feeling that it's not that she is distancing herself from the conversation as a whole or the experience, but you get the feeling that she is just sitting in the experience of being in, like, this sort of interaction between, like, a large, close-knit family, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I will say, I think that Tem would find it very cool that she's a knight. Just because that's cool. Kids love shit like that.
Yeah. Just like Cousin Bova.
Just like Cousin Bova. Bova's out in Bazzoxan stabbing demons. All right. So with that, then we can easily segue into Felyn picking you guys up to go meet Jenny.
Yes.
So you extract your other two friends, leaving Will behind. And you guys walk over. And something that I think is, again, very funny, is that you come back onto the scene, kind of still half in the hallway, as like Jenny has now moved to kind of like casually moving like Will's arms to like not measure him, but to like kind of eyeball an inseam, that sort of thing. And he's kind of just like standing there, not quite bewildered, not quite uncomfortable, but like not really knowing what to do, so kind of just letting her do that. And then she sees you guys coming down the hallway, and she sees like Dove, and then she sees Rowan, and then you can. What's y'all's passive perception actually?
My passive perception is 13.
16.
Okay, so Dove, you see her go to say something, like you think you see her lips move, but Felyn, you can kind of hear her kind of mutter, 2 of them. Me puts in the gray cat meme, 2 of them.
2 of them. Felyn will just nod her head.
And you meet up with Jenny, and then after everybody is here, she now proceeds to kind of, not too roughly, but definitely like pushing, shooing you into her room, and she closes the door. And it's a room that, like, obviously if you have this room, you can show it. But I feel like at this point, even if it is like a contained clutter, I think right now, like getting ready for an event, obviously everything's a mess. There's fabric on the floor, there's clothes on the floor, like wherever the clothes are kept wide open, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she is going to kind of get to work looking at you and touching you and moving you and like getting your measurements and that sort of thing. And I think that she like does ask you guys like questions on what kind of things you like, and like inspecting what you're wearing and that sort of thing. But I don't know a ton about making outfits for people, so that's about as in detail I can go about making it.
I think now that her friends are the capable hands of a 17-year-old designer, Felyn is going to take her leave and let them know that she's going to go ahead and start getting ready herself.
Delicious. Dev, you're left alone in a room with a 17-year-old tiefling that is moving you around like you are a mannequin. How do you feel? What are you doing?
I don't think Dev is too bothered. Like, Dev likes fashion and like with like shift weave and stuff. I don't Dev doesn't have like a bunch of money necessarily, but I don't think this is anything super foreign to him.
Yeah.
But he would be like very excited to meet her also, and be like, it's very nice to meet you, Jenny. Thank you for doing this for us.
Oh, do I want to say that? Hold on. Okay, I have a fun question. No, this is a cute thing. So, do you think when y'all were dropped off, y'all did like formal introductions? Because this will base what I'm about to say, because I think it could be fun.
I kind of was assuming that it was kind of just the way that you described it, where like Jenny was like, oh, and then like just immediately got started after Felyn was like, this is Dove, this is Rowan, and
Okay, good. Delicious. I love that because I want to say, I didn't want it to be like a whole big thing because I really wanted Jenny's response to be like, I see my name precedes me. And she's going to hold out a hand and say, Genesis Saurai. Nice to meet you. It's wonderful to work with
she's
you.
holding out her hand.
Yes.
I think Dove will take her like fingers,
Yeah.
and like hold them in their hand and like do this like very like what's that pose that you do when like a man holds like he gets down on like the knee and does that like
Put the forehead to the hand. I know. That's what
yeah.
Will did to Min.
Yeah, and Dove goes, "It is an honor to be in your presence, my lady."
Oh! And they say chivalry is dead.
Okay, you can't act like that because then you can't go back to school because now you're my biggest fan, I guess. So
And Dove will go to stand up and kind of just smile.
yeah, I like the idea that in this moment, Jenny looks like she's having fun and she's saying, I think she's gonna say something along the lines of like, I guess Athor can have cool friends too. I guess you guys are okay.
Oh, you should meet the other human that she's friends with. She has a very fun hair color, and I think you would have a blast looking at her fashion. It's like nothing you've ever seen before.
There's more of them.
Oh yes. Where I come from, it's a world called Eberron, and I lived in a big city with a lot of humans.
What
They
the
don't
fuck?
ever get any better though.
What the fuck? And it's like, it's not like mad, but it's kind of like shocked, and she's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
There's Jenny, let me tell you something about humans, okay? I know that you're not used to seeing them here, but something about humans is do you have rabbits here?
No.
Do you have how do I
Fuck.
do you have a small animal that breeds very quickly?
Do you have a small animal that breathes very quickly? Sarah?
Okay.
The animals here are weird, I do know that.
They are weird. So, okay.
Zorha's lesson.
Zorha's lesson. Because technically speaking, it wouldn't be impossible to say that there's, like, rabbits. They would just be very fucked up rabbits, though.
Yeah. Would they be in the city, too? Like, I also don't know if Jenny's seen small animals like that.
Probably not in the city proper. I imagine it might be in the underground portion, in Gordranas. And probably in, like, the wilderness outside of the barbed fields.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I feel like she would have said no to the "do you have rabbits?" and then you explain it, and she was like, "Wait, no, I think I know what those are." Okay.
Okay, that's
Caught up.
perfect. Perfect. Humans are basically like that. They spread very quickly and they overtake everything. They're everywhere.
So something really funny about you saying that is that Jenny looks horrified. Which is very funny considering I don't think Dove knows this, but for clarification, the reason why is because, again, Xhorhas's biggest enemy is the Dwendalian fucking Empire, which is an empire of humans trying to take over everything.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, it's in character. Dove wouldn't know, and I think that, like, okay, obviously I'm not going to have, like, this 17-year-old person be racist. But I do like the idea that she hears that, and she, like, looks, the other two, she looks at you. And she's going to maybe say something along the lines of, like, we have to keep an eye on them.
Oh, no, wait, no, that was a joke. I was joking.
I'm sorry for screaming, it's just really funny!
No, Jenny, listen, I I've known some bad humans in my life, but these two are okay.
I feel like she's going to like kind of like roll her eyes and be like, well, I know they're okay, otherwise they wouldn't be here. But like,
You don't need to keep an eye on them, I promise, is what I'm saying. I will keep an eye on them if you're worried about it. And Deb points a finger at them and is like, don't misbehave, you two. You heard her.
they're just standing around too because you guys are like whispering to each other in the corner and they're just like T-posing in her bedroom, you know what I mean? They're like, what? I'm sorry, this conversation is really cute and really funny. He literally...
Deb joking around like, haha, humans, ha ha ha, and Jenny's like, oh, so they're like scum of the earth, and Deb's like, oh my god, no, wait.
Oh my god, the propaganda was right, wait a minute. It's really funny too, because I know exactly what you meant, but the wording was very much like, oh god. Again, sorry for having a laugh at the expense of that comment. I just thought it was fun. Yeah. You and Jenny are getting along fucking swimmingly. And I don't want to say that means you get more attention, but it does because she's 17.
I mean, you just gotta feed into the 17-year-old ego and you're golden, right?
You have
Like,
to. Every
Yeah.
17-year-old thinks that they're the next Michelangelo. Every one of them. And I actually think. Give me a second. Because I'm going to give you a little something that I think would be fun.
actually, I think if it's okay, I'm gonna go like turn on the AC and maybe change into my pajamas because it's getting hot.
Live your dreams. I'm gonna pause real quick. I'll press play. So I was deliberating when you were gone with Sarah's help. So the reason why I said hold on a second is actually because you and Jenny are getting off on a great foot. Jenny is also gonna do your hair up really fancy.
Aww.
Yes, I'm picking out a style right now. And I think that it would be really fun. I think that she would do your hair in something like this, because especially since you already like have a braid, and it's like Jorhas like braids, so it's gonna be like something kind of edgy and messy, kind of like this, but you get to have your hair down because Dove never has like their hair loose.
Oh,
I thought
so
it'd be
cute.
Yeah, I thought it'd be really cute. I like the idea of like it takes kind of a long time, and every once in a while Jenny is just like trust the process. Even if you don't say anything, she's like trust the process. Also, don't look in the mirror until I'm done.
Oh, when Jenny is like doing up Dove's hair and everything, occasionally Dove will be like, if you need me to make my hair longer or shorter in some parts, I definitely can. Just let me know.
The benefits to being a changeling never cease.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me to ask you to do something really extra. Okay, actually, wait, because that's actually a really good thing to bring up, because listen, actually, I'm going to show you what I originally wanted her to do on you, and that makes sense, actually, because you can change your hair color. I'm changing my mind. It's this.
Okay.
I'm changing my mind. It's this. It's this one. This one right here, officer.
Oh, yeah. Like, Dove's like, if you need me to change the length or the hair color of any sort, just let me know.
I like the
I
idea. Sorry, go ahead.
I am in your hands. Mold me as you desire.
I love working on changelings. I love working on changelings. I like the idea that as she's braiding, occasionally she'll like tug a lock of hair and be like, make this one do this, or like make this one do this, and that's how she can do a really intricate color like this.
Mhm.
And I think that's very cute. And for the little leaves of the flowers, I think that she just puts in these two little hairpins that are like, they're not as intricate as this, but I'm imagining like maybe they're like a hairpin with like one of those iridescent beetle wings on it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then she gives you a whole spiel of like, be careful with these.
Oh, of course. I would never let anything happen to them.
Okay, just be careful with them.
It's a
Are
work
they
of art.
yours?
Everything you see in here is mine.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, and then you guys get all done up. I think that she leaves Will and Rowan's hair plain, but that's also to their taste anyway, you know. Yeah, and you guys get all dressed up.
Bah, bah, bah.
Bow, bow, bow. I only saw these designs right before the session started, right? But I will say I legitimately think that both of them are like really impressed by like how much they like it, I think is the way I want to word it. Like, it's not like they didn't think that she would be able to make them look good, but I think that they legitimately really like the clothes and how it looks on them. And so like I think that like they both legitimately are really thankful, and you guys both can see this, especially if like Felyn has already come back. But basically, I think that the way that like paying her for it works is that like it's literally like handing over coin. Like a number doesn't have to be put down. Like they're not like, they don't ask, they just like give money, and she's like, she obviously is like very pleased with it, but she's trying to act extremely cool about it and not make it a big deal because of course you get paid when your work is this good, you know what I mean? Of course. Which means Dove, you get to add this outfit to your inventory.
That's so cute. So the twins paid her.
Yeah.
How much did they pay her?
Are you trying to eyeball it?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me a perception because you're actively looking.
10.
You can tell that she easily got over 10 gold between the both of them.
Okay. Dove will go to hand her 5 gold.
She also takes it and says, "Pleasure doing business." Now get out of my room, I have to get ready. Wasting my
believe.
time. Okay, cool. She like she shoos you out a little bit and she like mutters, but she looks really happy about it. And you don't hear as much stomping or aggression as she's getting all of her look together to go to the festival later. And you're all dressed up and you had a good time. I hope you guys have liked this segment of hanging out with the family.
Sorry, it took forever, but it was a lot of fun.
It was good.
Had a lot of fun with it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So the next on the itinerary, obviously, if you have anything you want to say to Flynn's family for the rest of the mini session, you can tell me. You can also again DM me if you have questions to the family. But basically, I know that the next on the itinerary is specifically going to the midday thing. So if you guys want, we can go straight to that. Or you guys can take a look at the festival before going. Like, you guys can move this around. The only thing that has a set time is, like, you gotta go do the thing at noon.
Yes. I think while Felyn is getting ready, she's gonna like call for one of her den mates and ask them to bring Dove to her room.
Dove is brought to the room.
Because I remember this from the RP. And Felyn is gonna ask Dove if they could help her put on the ceremonial makeup.
Wow.
And I'm assuming you want Dove to, like, look like Felyn and help that way, or just put it on your face?
I was thinking of helping put it on under her
Yes.
face.
Yes, okay, yes.
Yes.
Dove will help Felyn put on the makeup.
Put on a dumb makeup.
Put on the makeup. Blanco. I just think it was cute.
I think it's really cute. It's bonding.
Oh, I love Book's design.
I really
Yeah.
like Book a lot.
An artiste. I can send in what Felyn looks like in her vestments.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
fancy.
Yes. As
Look at
she's walking, she's
you.
like hiking up some of the like skirts and whatnot, and also using mage hands
Yeah, 100%.
so that it's
100%.
not dragging.
It looks very beautiful when you're doing stuff. Not so much when you're walking around town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Delightful. You two both have this moment of getting ready together in a show that I think feels very real to both of you. Whether or not you guys consider it intimate is again up to your characters, but I also legitimately think that like for both of your characters being able to share in faith and how you practice and something that close to yourself, I feel like is something that you guys both in particular feel very strongly about in your own lives. So I do think that it's like a really nice thing to do together, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh. And Felyn would offer Dove, if Dove would also like a little bit paint for a festival.
Oh, I think Dove would love that.
Oh my god, paint for
Yeah.
the festival.
Paint for the festival. Felyn will go ahead and paint some appropriate little markings and whatnot on the face, and maybe some on the hands.
Wow, that's so cute. That's so cute.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think when Dove is done putting the makeup on Felyn, Dove will kind of sit back and go, alright, I think I'm all done, and you look stunning, Felyn.
Felyn will smile and say, thank you in no small parts to your expert hands. And she kind of frames her own face. I also,
Yes.
because I made Felyn's bedroom.
Oh wow, yes, you did.
Well, the images are sending. There we go.
Oh,
It's a beautiful room. I really like Felyn's room.
that is so pretty. Oh, I love this.
Thank you.
Sarah, why the fuck you so good at decorating?
I know.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are ready. You guys come out and meet up with the two humans who are once again being accosted by a very friendly changeling child. And there's this like, I think there's this fun moment where like you guys come out into the main room again, and it's like in those movies where like you guys make eye contact with each other And there's sort of like these smiles on the Kenrith twins as Rowan waves you down. And you guys get ready to leave.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Again, do you guys want to say that you're going straight to the sort of ceremony at noon? Do you want to do some festival things first? What you thinking? What you feeling? You have about... Yeah, you have like an hour and a half left. You guys are really good on time, legitimately.
I think Felyn overall will leave that decision up to Dove and the siblings. And at some point, maybe like an hour before the ceremony, she's gonna sort of excuse herself to go do other preparations for that.
Delightful, delightful. What are you feeling, Mackenzie?
We're just trying to figure out what to do at the festival.
It's do you want to go and do this ceremony first, or do you want to look at festival stuff first? Because you can go look at festival stuff whenever you want. It's not like the festival's after the thing. The festival's all day, because it's a holiday.
Mm-hmm. And the ceremony would be the one that Felyn is doing?
Yeah, Felyn is a part of it.
Got
And that's at noon, so like it's like you could either go first to the festival and then go to the thing, and then after that you could either go back to the festival or go home, or like you could spend time here at the house until noon, do the noon ceremony first, and then do like the festival stuff afterwards and then go home. It's really just up to preference, whatever you feel like doing next.
I mean, I don't know. Like, Felyn, would you want to spend more time like with your family before we head out, or just head out now and do some stuff and then go to the ceremony?
I think Felyn will always want to spend more time with family.
I think that's
So
fair.
so she's gonna stay out the house until she like absolutely can't anymore and like has to go.
That's so fair, my bestie in Christ. Okay, then that's what you guys do all the way up until about 11 in the morning, the last hour before the noon ceremony. Felyn, you have definitely helped out with this numerous times. It is not like... It's a group activity, right? So it's not necessarily like it is the most holy honor that's only given to you, right? It's definitely like a grouping of a bunch of different like clerics to the Luxon throughout the whole city, but it is still something that I feel like to you feels really important. So you have done this a couple times over both of your lives, especially more in this second one, and so you know where to go and how to get ready. And so what this probably means, especially if like Dove, you and the Kenriths aren't going to be like wandering off, you guys are probably going to like... Oh gosh. Do you think this is like in a town square, or do you think it's in like the Lucid Bastion?
I think it would be probably out front of the Lucid Bastion. There's like the rough equivalent of like a town square. It's a large open space.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just realized right now, I was like, wait a second, I don't know where the hell this place is going. I assume there's going to be a town square, so I'm glad I'm correct. Yeah, so you guys go and, Dove, you are left with the Kenriths kind of milling about in a space which has people already kind of around. They're not doing any particular thing. It's a lot of people just enjoying the sunlight, sitting and talking with people. Nice. There are some people praying and having quiet moments to themselves, but you are sort of left so that Felyn can go and finish preparations for when it starts. And you guys find a seat, sort of. I say seat, you're probably sitting on the ground somewhere, but that's fine. And as the hour slowly crawls to noon, where the sun sits directly above. You see as it fills with more and more people, you catch sight of other members of Den Salrai throughout the crowd. It's a big crowd, but I feel like as they're milling in, you can occasionally see the familiar curl of horns or a familiar shock of white hair. And as that last hour comes to close, oh, I have music for this. Hold on, sorry.
Use a hack.
Change. As those last couple minutes come to a close, you see as all of the clergy come to step into this rounded section of the square. Dove, you make out them carrying candles in their hands as hundreds in a line dressed similarly to Flynn. Not all exactly the same, but the same cut, the same colors, the same makeup, with only slight variations based on rank. And you have been to celebrations before, and you have been to religious celebrations before. It is awe-inspiring how quickly conversation dims in this moment. As throughout this circle there are concentric rings and angles in specific shapes that you don't have all of the context for, but you can feel how practiced and old this custom is. As they start to dance, gliding gracefully in movements and machinations that seem too fluid. You see also an aspect of this dance of every time there is a turn or a meeting of an angle, a candle gets passed to another, to the point where you can't tell where one ended and the other began. And this performance is used to signify the midday. And there's a certain moment where they all stop moving, and everyone in the crowd, except for you three it seems, go to bow their head at the same time, as there is a moment of silence. Felyn, this is a moment for your character and your religion, and so I wanted to ask if there's anything that you think would happen during this, or you want Felyn to do specifically. You want to talk about it a bit? Then I wanted to leave the floor open to you.
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
Shit.
Sorry if it's all of a sudden. I'm so sorry. But I realized that I thought that it would be more cool if you had a bit more of a hand in it.
I think. Okay. So I think, because I'm thinking about this dance as sort of a way of symbolizing like the struggle, but the camaraderie that they had when they were in the Underdark, and then the sort of path that they took to get out of that and find their god, so on and so forth. So I think during the moment of silence, when everything is sort of stilling and quiet, the candles get kind of put out, and then doesn't necessarily have to be the Bright Queen herself, but someone who's supposed to like represent her, sort of comes into the center of where everybody has stilled from the dance, with it wouldn't be an actual beacon, but
yeah, that's a bit too
bright
dangerous.
light.
Yeah,
that's too fucking dangerous, too fucking risky. But a very bright light, maybe like a lantern of some kind.
It also could be something in the shape of a Luxon. I do know that like you can wear jewelry with that shape, so it could be like an affectation or a sculpture. It could be an idol of the Luxon.
Yeah.
Nice.
And once that gets sort of like raised above all the dancers, all the clergy, I imagine the dance sort of resumes, though in a different pattern. It's instead of, how do I describe this?
It's really hard to describe things Luxon adjacent, because the Luxon is extremely alien, but also extremely like structured. It's very interesting.
Yeah. I think the dancing continues in a way where it's still very much like everybody's sort of moving as one, if in like separate parts and whatnot. But instead of the angles being very like harsh, they start to get a bit more free flowing. Things start to branch off. There's a bit more of a free flow to it. And it sort of ends with all of the dancers sort of surrounded together towards this idol of the Luxon.
I like that. That's really good. I feel like for your three guests, perhaps the context might be lost, but I think that what the biggest takeaway would probably be for you, Dove, apart from what you can piece together from the performance itself, is the weight of how this has brought everyone together, and the weight that what this is trying to convey is being held with. I think it's very interesting to think about the weight of faith and belief and hope, and that feeling that you hold so close to yourself, hope and light, and how it is diffused in every aspect of this performance. And I think after that, it sort of opens up, and that sort of collective breath that is being held is exhaled. And as the dancers themselves start to become more loose, more freeform, less rigid, exploring the possibilities of what they can do, I feel like is whenever this sort of ceremony segues into something like that, where it is now more open and people can move and mill about and talk again. I assume at some point people will come up and speak a bit. Not exactly the same way that sermons are, I think, necessarily, but I don't know if you guys understand this reference, but there in a religion called Quakerism, there's no priest, there's no pulpit. It's just a circular room with chairs and then a centerpiece. And anytime somebody from the congregation wants to speak and do a sermon, they can stand up and talk. And that sort of concept I like I like the idea of that sort of thing being something that happens here because of the idea of like sharing of ideas, different experiences, all of the differences making a bigger whole.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what the second half of this is sort of going into, and this will go on for a relatively long time, literally until people stop wanting to do it. So at that point, whenever Felyn feels like she wants to step away, or whenever Dove or the Kenris want to step away, then you guys can, and it's over for you.
Woo.
Oh,
Ooh. How are you feeling, Mackenzie? Sorry, it was a lot of me talking.
no, it's okay. It was very pretty.
Thanks. What were you gonna say, Sarah? Sorry.
Oh, just a little tidbit on how Felyn is doing. I think particularly with the moment of silence, she got a little bit emotional.
Understandable. Okay. Give me just 1 second. My besties in Christ. I have to pee again. Apologies. Okay, everybody, wake up. It's time to do festival things.
I think Felyn is gonna go ahead and step away for a bit and change into a more festival-like attire.
Yeah, so you drew it,
before
right?
joining up. Yes.
Nice.
So it's essentially just a modified version of her vestments.
Yeah! I like it. I think it's really pretty.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I really like it. I think it's so pretty. When Sarah did this, I was like, this is so pretty. Yeah, so you change into your clothes and you meet back up with the other two. And I think you can start to see that people are sort of milling about and talking more. People are doing their little talks and stuff like that, and people are kind of going more towards the sound of merrymaking that is coming from some of the other districts nearby. I think that Will in particular probably would compliment Felyn and say that she did beautifully. Yes. Rowan doesn't look as interested in it, but I think I mentioned this before. The concept of religion is very foreign to the Kenriths, so that's just how it be. So I hope that that's not something that Felyn would dislike.
Nah.
Delightful. I think that Rowan would kind of give a bit of a laugh after seeing a couple of kids running through the square to leave, and say, now that that's settled, why not go have some fun?
Yes.
And you guys walk through the city. So this is up. I don't know the districts very well in Rosona, but I do know that this is sort of like the top finger quotes of it. But as you guys sort of walk around, again, forgive me if this is an incorrect assumption, but I assume that you were going to be traveling back to Gallimaufry, since that's not only where you're from, it's where your family is. It's also technically one of the more lively sections of the town.
Yes.
Full of like bright lights, colors, a lot of people running about. And so that is where you've always found the most exciting parts of the festivities. And as you walk around Dove, you see that it is decorated in a pretty standard fare for like festivals, carnivals, games, with a lot of bright, like pale colors, a lot of pale blues, bright lavenders, bright white, soft golds, that sort of thing, to get people's attention against the sort of stone and colorful garb of the people. Some stuff you see off the top of your head. You see a lot of food stalls, and one of them you see is it used to be a stall, but now it's sort of like a stand built actually on the street. And it is being commandeered by 3 goblins shouting out orders on this long line of people. And you can kind of make out that they're calling out that it's a sale today only, 1 CP a bun. Felyn, you're familiar with this being Bingo's Buns.
Yeah.
You also see a bunch of games of chance. You see tables for gambling, you see arm wrestling, you see some games of like skill where you have to like do like a ring toss, or you have to like fish up a bottle. There's also this one that's also particularly interesting where it's sort of like a rope is tied from like one house to the other, and it's like whoever can like climb from like this to this can like get a prize, that sort of thing. It's a lot of different varied things. It's not like, it's just people making ways to have fun and make money as opposed to like official games. That makes sense? But I think that that gives it a lot of character. There's a lot of people playing hacky sack and stuff like that. So if there's any game that entices you, or a type of game that entices you, you can tell me, or you can get some food. You can buy some knickknacks. Just have a good old time.
Who's selling the buns again?
It is a stall called Bingo's Buns. It's 3 goblins. They all have different names, but you don't know them.
Yes. Felyn would immediately want to go to that one and get...
I want that one also.
Yeah, so you go stand in line. It's kind of a long line, but Felyn assures you that it's worth it. Every penny, every second. And as you get closer, you see that there are 3 goblins kind of like running around and jumping around. Like one is kind of like standing on a side counter, like hawking the wares. That's the one that you saw that was telling you the price. You see one is checking out people and like yelling over the sounds of like how chaotic this stand is, and like slinging coins. And then there's another person in the back who's like slinging around meat on a grill. And you get closer, and you see Felyn, that the person working the stall, the register essentially, it's not a register, you know what I mean, is Pinga this time, and she's like, Felyn, it's been a while.
Hello! I am back once again, of course, for your delicious buns. I'm here to... She's gonna gesture to her friends and say it would be their first time here.
Well, I guess I can forgive you for missing the last one if you brought us new customers, am I right? And you see that she kind of gestures to the guy standing on a counter just screaming out and says, well, according to Bongo over here, we got a sale going on. How many buns you want?
Ooh.
They're pretty good. We're experimenting with a spicy sauce now. Fire Lichen.
Oh no. Oh, you know I cannot resist that. Okay. I will take 3 for myself.
Yes! I was like, I know Felyn's gonna get a bunch. Pinga points at you, Dove. Is like, what say you?
I will take 2.
Alright, we got 2. We got 5! And then you see, because both Will and Rowan are kind of taller than you and standing behind you, I feel like Pinga like jumps up on the counter to point at the other 2, like, what are you getting? And there's like a moment of panic because again, this is like a super chaotic stall. But I think that what's really funny is that they both panic in different ways, because Will panics and says 1, and then Rowan panics and says 3. And then you see Pinga goes to like stomp on the counter and say, that's what I'm fucking talking about! And you guys pay and are ushered out of line to kind of wait like on the side where Bingo is, the man himself. As he is making up your buns. And I've discussed this before with Sarah, but this is like a sausage bun situation stall. So they're like, it's like meat encompassed by like dough. And now they're also spicy. You can get them traditional or you can get them spicy now because they have a spicy sauce that they have crafted.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good size. I don't want to say they're huge, but they're a pretty good size. They're a bit bigger than normal street food, but they're also really good. Like when you bite into them, they're super good. So I can believe that Felyn could put away like 3 in a matter of an hour.
How much were they?
1 CP each. A really fun tidbit, I think, as you guys get your buns and start milling about, is that Will really liked his, but he only got 1. And so Rowan long-sufferingly gives him 1, so then they both have 2. But you see that... What's up?
Dev will give an extra bun to Rowan when they see her do that.
I like that a lot. Okay, nice. So I like the idea that she's like sighs long-sufferingly, hands over the bun, kind of like elbows him a little bit with like a grin, and he's like, "Oh, stop." Obviously having like fun, and then you hand an extra one over, and Rowan is just like, "See, I've got it covered." And I think Rowan's gonna kind of throw an arm around your shoulder to give you a bit of a jostle, Dove.
Well, if you liked them that much, I wouldn't want you to be 1 short.
I think that she would kind of give a grin and say, "You're too kind, really," and goes to immediately shove one in her face. I do think that something really cute about that, though, is that she would still offer to split it. So if, like, you finished yours and she still had some, she would give you some of hers.
No.
Indirect kiss, but it's a bingo's bun at a festival.
I think they sound really good, so I'm sure Dove would really like it after the first one, but then, like, that's the only bun that they have now, so I think when Rowan offers that, they can go ahead and split it because I'm sure it's really good.
Yeah, I think it's like I've been imagining it like a spiced sausage, like already. So it's got like that depth of flavor. It's like a homemade sausage situation. I don't know. I love sausage, so I keep thinking about like a sausage bun, and I'm like, God, I want one so bad.
It's really good. I've been imagining like the kind of like sausage buns that you get at like Ren Fair.
I've never been to a Ren Fair, so I wouldn't know.
It's very good. It is very big and very heavy though.
I can't
like
believe
out
it.
on the stomach, it is heavy.
I can believe it. I can believe it. God, I love food. I'm so hungry.
No.
You're okay. But yeah, you guys have a little eat. You guys walk around the festivities. I think something that's really fun is that I think that Will and Rowan. Okay, so this is something I haven't pointed out yet because we've only really interacted with specific situations yet. But once we start getting to the point where like you guys are wandering around, something that you pick up about Will and Rowan that's very interesting is that it is extremely easy for them to integrate themselves into casual interactions and conversations. I'm not sure in particular if you guys would see Will or Rowan as particularly smooth or suave or charismatic in a active sense, but it is almost effortless for them to walk up to a group of people doing something and ask them what they're doing and asking them things and like talking to them about it. And that is something that you can glean is something that they have learned through being planeswalkers that are not open about what they are. They are trying very hard, but succeeding at blending in, despite being the only human you guys can see. And I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I also would have to decide on this, but I will tell you that by the time you guys leave and go home, I do feel like Will probably has bought a couple knickknacks. He seems like the type.
He does.
And another thing that I think that they would do that I think is also really cute is I know earlier you were like, well, obviously, like, neither of us are going to do context of strength. They love to show off, actually. So even if you guys aren't playing games, they are.
Felyn will clap for them.
Nice.
I do think Felyn would like to play some games, though. Do you, by any chance, have like a list of the games?
Kind of, but not particularly. I kind of just like they're kind of your average festival games, and then some other ones I can see if I can make a list for you.
It should be fine. You had said that there was ring toss?
Yes, there is a ring toss, there's hacky sack, there is there are things like contests of strength and like wrestling and stuff, but on top of that you also can bet on that sort of thing. There's sort of these like ramshackle parkour-esque feats of dexterity you can attempt, like the rope bridge one that I mentioned a minute ago. There's things like archery, stack toss, sorry, I'm looking at stuff. There's like that ultra traditional like table that has like the cups with the ball in it, and you have to try to guess which one, that sort of thing.
I gotta do that one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good spread.
Felyn is gonna do the ball and cup.
Yeah, you can definitely go up. You see that it's got this sort of like this wizened old tiefling sitting at a table. It's just like, would you like to try your luck against old Nine Fingers Keen?
I can't think of a specific way for her to say this. She's gonna.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, how this is gonna work is this is gonna be just a straight, well, not a straight roll. It's going to be a skill check. Because it's hard to make this one more fancy, right? But you're basically going to choose if you want to do perception or insight, and based on what you roll against a DC that I have is how much you can win. You have to pay 1 copper for 2 guesses.
Okay. I'm gonna do this with insight because it is in direct sunlight, which means I would have disadvantage on perception.
It's true. It's tragic.
But yes, I will hand over the copper.
Nice. He like takes the copper and then he does that thing where he like does a flourish of his hand and it's like gone from his hand.
Alright, hit me.
Okay, and he is going to go ahead and whisk away. And he is going to, at first he tries to be a little bit fancy with it, but by the end he is focusing purely on speed and dexterity. And you have 3 options. You can choose cup 1, 2, or 3. I am going to very quickly roll to see which one it is on.
Help me.
If I can find where the hell Dice Maiden is. I just messaged you. Okay, fine. Come Roll 1d3. Okay, go ahead and give me your roll.
17.
17, okay. You see him go to, with a flourish, pick up the cup, and it is not there. And he's like, so sad.
Ah, shit.
But you get one more guess.
One more guess.
And he goes to do it one more time, and give me your second roll.
I'm about to get this man's fucking ass. 25.
25? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Roll the 19.
You see, this time when he goes to pick it up, he almost seems to hesitate before he picks it up, and you see that you have won.
Haha.
And he's like, he makes a joke about how you really caught it on the upswing, huh? And I am going to roll on this table of little prizes you can get.
Oh, we got prizes.
I have prizes. It's not just money. You get to win things.
Oh my boy.
Yes. Okay, you got one of my favorite ones already off the bat. So he goes to pull something out of his sleeve, and it's this pale colored like wand, very plain. It's just like, it's essentially a sharp stick, right? And you know what this is. It's a wand that has about 8 uses or so. And what it does is that when you use it, it creates an illusory effect from the end that makes it look like a sparkler. And it's a very traditional like kid's toy from like the days of light.
Oh my god.
So this is a very nostalgic thing for you to win right now.
Yeah. Felyn takes it very happily and is going to walk up to her friends to show it off.
I think both of the Kenriths give you big claps after cheering them on, and goes to pat you on the back.
She'll make a comment about the wand, of just like remembering it from when she was little, and she hadn't seen one in a long time.
I'm trying to see what kind of stuff the Kenriths would have won from their couple of feats of strength really quick, so give me just a second. Mackenzie, feel free to try your hand at a game if you would like also. So, according to my tables, Will and Rowan have both also won a little wand. I feel like they're like the easiest cheap thing you can win, but some of their things they won money on. So they won a little bit of gold.
Nice.
Yes, not very much because again, I don't think you get big gains on some of the smaller ones, but they probably got like a handful of gold.
Yeah.
Which makes sense considering people love to bet on arm wrestling. And they're very good at it, these two.
They are so strong.
They're so strong.
think Felyn will ask Dove if they would like to join her in a game of ring toss.
Oh, that does sound fun.
I toss the rings.
Toss of
It
the
does sound
rings. Let me go get the rules for that one really quick. Okay. So we got ring toss. I also have found the rules for another game, depending on how smart you guys are, where it's basically like the fantasy version of guess how many jelly beans are in a jar, but it's guess the feathers on a cockatoo. And I think that's cute.
Yeah.
If that's something you are interested in. But the ring toss, okay, so I have the rules for that one. So per copper, you'll get 3 tosses, and based on how many you win, is how many prizes you get. Yes.
1 copper for 3 toss.
And then whenever you guys want to do that, it's just a dexterity check for each toss.
Okay. I'll just roll all these at once. A 6, a 9, and a 5.
I'm sorry, but hold on. I'll roll to see how easy this one is, because I feel bad that your rolls were really small.
This makes sense for her.
I'm sorry, but it's eluding you. It's eluding you, these hoops.
These hoops, they perplex me.
So it's a CP per toss, so 3 tosses would be 3 CP?
No, it's 1 CP for 3 tosses.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so that would be 1 CP, and then you would do 3 dex checks, and then you would be able to get stuff based on that.
I go.
You go.
16, a 9, and an 11.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, you actually won all 3. So, let me roll to see what you get. This means that you get, I think you get 2 prizes if you won all 3, so give me a second.
Damn, I won the second one with a 9?
Yeah. I rolled for the DC because I felt bad, and I was like, I wanna have to move around a little bit. To be fair, the thing I'm looking at, the DCs are like 18, and I'm like, that's not fun. So what you win is, if you want, you can also have a wand sparkler if you would like. But your 2 prizes actually are this sort of amulet. It's like a little pendant. It's not super fancy, but it is really cute because inside it's got like a resin held like little flower.
Ooh.
And that's really cute. If you look over it, it's not like anything super fancy, but I think it's really cute. And then I also think that you would get, I would have to ask Sarah's help for this, but I really like the idea of winning like little like wearable things or little toys and stuff like that. So I really wanted like the first time I ever ran a festival as a DM, the thing you could win was like a flower crown, but I know that Jorhas doesn't really have flowers, so like, but the intent is there. Like a cute little laurel of leaves or something.
Yeah. With the little vermalac leaves.
Yeah, the little purple leaves. Oh my god, you're right. That'd be really cute.
Yeah.
You got a little necklace and you got a little crown of purple leaves. And also you can get a sparkler if you want. He like throws it in because he's so impressed. Because you're like, that was your first try. And you got all of them. And then he succinctly bans you from trying again.
You're too good at it.
In true carnival game fashion.
I'm absolutely gonna try my hands at the fucking feather thing.
Yeah, we can do that too. Okay, so that one. So that'll be just an intelligence check.
Nice.
And this one will be a little bit difficult, but that's okay, because those games are difficult.
18 total.
18 total. Okay. Wow. Okay, you meant the DC exactly. Me holding up a gun at you. Give me your copper
I am so
piece.
smart.
You are so smart. Okay, let me look at little trinkets. Actually, no. I think this one is one that would count for money. I think this one is something you would win money for.
Nice.
Because this isn't like a game. This is like one of those raffle things. You know what I mean? Okay, let me roll some money. So you get the whole pot of people who paid. So basically you have to pay like a copper for each guess, but then that constitutes the pot. And this means that you got a grand total of 3 gold and 2 silver and 1 copper. So you got your copper back.
What? Hang on.
Sorry.
Yes. F2. Sorry, my mom came in and talked the same thing that you were talking. What did you say?
No, you're okay. So you got 3 gold, 2 silver, and a copper for winning. Nice. So you got your copper back.
Woo!
And then you are succinctly banned from trying again. Because now you know.
Yes.
Honorary mentions for games that I don't think you guys are gonna play, but I found on this article that I think is really funny. Goat jousting for goblins. And that's really cute. So that's the thing.
Hell yeah.
You see little street jousts of goblins on goats, which Will and Rowan are absolutely delighted by.
Yeah.
Okay, besties. We have about 30 minutes, so if you guys have plans, feel free to throw them at me.
I think... Are there people dancing?
There are 100% people dancing. I feel like every couple, like every 10 to 30 feet, there's like people doing like little street performances, people doing music, people dancing to the music. There are like dancers that are performing in that sort of thing. So you can definitely find somebody playing some music and some people doing some dances.
Yes. Felyn will take her besties and invite them to dance.
Yeah. Do you think that you were just asking them to dance in general, or do you think you're going to show them the steps to how like you dance or how like the people here dance? Because what's really fun is you find these like circles, and because Jorhas is such like a melting pot, especially Gallimaufry, you're finding like goblins and goblinoids that have specific dances. You see like traditional and modern dances for drow and that sort of thing. And so it's like a really fun like mix of people dancing entirely different ways but to the same music, and I think that's really cute.
Yeah. I think she'll invite them just to dance in general, and if anyone is interested in learning one of the traditional things, then she will teach, but otherwise.
I think that's really cute. I think something really cute that would happen in this is that I think that Rowan in particular would be really like tickled at the idea of just going and doing like a dance with everybody. And once like you guys sort of like get into the thick of it, I like the idea that she sort of grabs Will to do a little country dance.
Oh.
And I think that it's crude but simple in the way that you can tell that like they are laughing at their own like missteps. You know what I mean? Because it's just something that they're doing for fun. And I like the idea that like that earns like, you know, a couple like whistles from the crowd because it's like, hey, look at these funny humans doing their funny little dance. But they're having fun with it. Will has y'all's passive perception, I think, could catch on this pretty well. Will does not have the easiest time of it, but he is still having fun. And he doesn't fall, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually send this in here because I still really like it, but this is the kind of dances that Will and Rowan would be doing, because I like dancing. I like dancing.
That's very good.
Yeah, but I definitely think also that like they wouldn't just go off on their own. I like to think that they would like come over and try to include y'all. But obviously, if you tried to lead them in a dance, they would be like, "What the hell are we doing? I don't know what I'm doing. What the fuck?"
I know I said that Felyn would only teach them dances if they like requested it. I do still really like the visual of Felyn trying to take them through the steps, some basic steps.
I do think that they would be down to do it. I think that it would be really cute. Dove, do you like dancing?
Yeah.
I'm going to see something really quick. I want to see how bad these two are going to be at this. I just think that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So, in a way that I'm not quite surprised, I think that Rowan takes to it really well, and I feel like Rowan, like, isn't the best dancer. I don't think that Rowan has the technical skills of, like, being a dancer, but I think that she has a lot of fun with it. So whenever you show her a step and she does it, I like to imagine that, like, you guys are, like, dancing and hopping around, and she is sort of, like, smiling or laughing and adding like a bit of a flourish to it. That doesn't always work out well, but I think is in the spirit of just dancing historically is just when a group of people are just hanging out and having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will does not do as good. In ways that I feel like are obvious. You know what I mean? There is a couple steps where he like misses them or stumbles or he knocks into you or someone else. And it's never quite so bad, but you can see that he is like, it's frustrating, but I feel like he's taking it in stride. You know what I mean? He's not letting it like ruin the moment, but I feel like after a while he sort of elects to stop trying.
Oh.
I'm sorry if that sounds sad, but like, what are you gonna do? He has a nice foot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He had fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I will say that since we're sort of coming up on the time, if there's any last minute things that you guys want to do while you're in Resona, or just tell me like what you want to be doing while we're here, or like discussing when exactly you guys want to like leave. You guys don't have to technically leave at the end of this mini session. We could do like one more thing and then we can do like another part if you guys stay particularly long. Like if you stayed overnight, then we could also do that. It's entirely up to when you guys want to go back specifically. But I do want to like have that conversation before we like start running out of time because it is getting a little bit
Yeah.
late.
Yeah. I think Felyn will leave the decision of like whether or not we leave in like the afternoon or if it's like in the morning to her companions.
Understandable. I don't know if Will or Rowan would have any particular feelings either way, as long as, you know, they got back in time for class and stuff like that. So I think that then the decision would probably fall to what Dove would want to do.
When we leave.
Yeah, like if you want to leave either in the afternoon, if you want to stay till later in the night, do you want to stay overnight and leave in the morning? Because you can like technically stay overnight and like sleep and then like go back at the beginning of like the next day. And then we could also cut this up into either private mini sessions or like another mini session if you guys wanted to hang out more here in Resona and do things.
That could be fun. I know we have our new classes tomorrow, but I think if we left like decently early, I don't think it would be a problem because like we'd still make it on time.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you guys miss it just because like you stayed overnight. Like you definitely could like stay overnight, wake up, immediately go back, get ready, go to class, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then Felyn can visit with family more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We can, over the next week, we can figure out what you guys want to do, and then if you guys want to do things together to do other things, or if you guys want to also do things separate, then that's also fine too. But I think that that will be a good time to wrap this up then in the warmth of the afternoon sun. Yeah.
Yeah.